Hey guys, just wanted to give you a perspective of where I live, okay? Just so you can get an idea. Sorry, it's Friday afternoon, logging trucks, people coming home from work, but even though we do live in the country. So I live in Oregon, Central Oregon, okay? Our nights, mid-40s. Here we are, June, Friday the 13th. Days are lucky to be in the low 70s. On a clear sunny day, 74, 75, but nights are still, if it's a clear day, it's even colder at night. So when I show you the veggies, put that in perspective of to where we are and how I'm growing things. So let me take you around because there's some bizarre stuff going on. This is Frankenstein's veggie garden, and I swore I wasn't going to do this after 2 years ago when I had some, the brandy wines were pumping out 2-pound tomatoes and the cucumbers were sending out unbelievable vines. Anyway, let me take you around because the clips on my tomatoes, I've been having to cut them off. The vine is just getting so thick on it, and the flowers are just too many. Anyway, let's go around. Here we go. All right, before we get started with bad things, I was thinking we could get going with some not so bad things. It's getting a little warmer out here, finally. So let's talk about leaf curl, or better known as canoeing. Let me show you a little over here. Come on. Okay, we can see the leaf turning up, right? Looks like a canoe. Well, if you look at the plant, the leaf, there's no insects, no virus, no bad things going on. It usually means that the plant is sucking sugars out of these leaves to push out flowers and growth. So it's better in the long run not to cut off the bottom branches so that the carbohydrates or the sugars can be utilized at the upper end of the plant as it's growing. You can cut them off later, especially when they start turning yellow, but these sugars are being used, and that's why they just kind of curl up because like in the fall when leaves turn and that kind of thing. Let me show you a couple other things. Okay, I just wanted to show the carrots and what the supplement I used on the left and didn't use on the right. The screws right here are the dividing line. There's a board that goes across, and so I amended that side over there with coffee grounds, and I did not amend over here. And that's otherwise the sides are amended equally. But isn't that fantastic, or pretty significant what the difference is? All right, moving on. Okay, well, the sun came out finally, and I just thought I could do a little video on other clips that are available for not only tomatoes but other vegetables. So we've got this clip here to help support branches. If you feel there's going to be a heavy tomato or group of tomatoes, this clip goes on. It has to go on fairly early, and it'll help support the weight. And then there's this guy here that if you do double stems, things like that, you can hook it on over and then hook it to a string if that's the way you do things with string. So because I'm doing on this plant, I'm doing not one but 2 stalks, I can still connect them to the same line. So that makes it really good, really easy. And here's another one that is going to support that tomato that I'm expecting to be a little heavier. So let me come around. These brandywines are just looking so great. So you can see here, or if I can find it, there's this clip here and this clip here. It gives a nice little arc to the weight, and it doesn't have to be for tomatoes or even for the fruit. I mean, you can do it for branches, you know, other types of stuff. So anyway, I'm sure the plants are loving the sun. Okay, here are my 2 Cherokee Purples, and it's one way I can show you what problems in the Northwest are. This is called hardening off. You can see how woody the stems have gotten. I think you can anyway. Right here and here and over here. Then I'll take you over to the early girls. You can see how much growth is up at the top. All these leaves and clusters, and again, very woody and thick stems. I'm going to have to cut this off because it's too tight. So what happens is that we get 2 weeks of warm, 2 weeks of cold. I mean, the ground, I've had the thermometer in the ground, and it's still too cold. The only ones that are doing well are the brandywine. I mean, they're a little woody, but now it's starting to open up a little bit. But when you get 2 weeks of warm, they start to grow, and then it gets cold and no sun, they just shut down. I just love these air pruning plants. Doesn't matter what bucket they're in. They're, well, the one in the pail is probably my least favorite, but it's still doing good. The other 2 are just really looking great. All right.